Spencer, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
No problem, Dylan. Anytime.
All right. Let's start off yesterday's regular season opener. You guys came away with the victory over Columbia University, 37-25. It's a big win. Start the season off 1-0. What'd you guys do well to beat an Ivy League school fairly easily?
Well, typically with the new scrum cadence, it's been a very weird transition. However, we've been very good in the new transition. Our forwards won every single scrum, which was very, very dominating. The backs did well of getting the ball to space and attacking that space, and then once the Columbia saw that we could spread the ball real wide, they'd have to respect that and opened up a lot of lanes down the middle.
So you guys had a strong second half then?
Yes, we did.
All right. And the team had an alumni tailgate after the game, right? That must have been a lot of fun, hanging out with former players, especially after a big win.
It was pretty fun seeing Brian and Eddie and Tyler.
Older players, yeah.
Some good guys.
All right, well, I want to get into your early life a little bit. I know you're from New York City, but where exactly did you grow up, and more importantly, what got you into playing rugby? It's a pretty unique sport for someone. You don't see a lot of younger people playing rugby.
No, you don't. I grew up originally on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, but moved to Queens in 7th grade. With applying to public high school in New York City is kind of a very rough, kind of weird system. So me and a few of my friends didn't get into any public high schools.
Really?
So the alternative was to go to this all-boys Catholic school, Xavier. Little did I know, and of one of my friends, that it was one of the top national programs in rugby. So we started off, playing football. And the new coach that year was a former Penn State rugby player who convinced a lot of us to play rugby in the spring to help us for the football season. So we got a lot of kids on board. The most freshmen who wanted to play rugby that Xavier's seen in history, which started the first U15 freshman rugby team, which I was part of, and we went undefeated in our first ever season of playing rugby. And then it really just took off from there.
All right.
It was a fun ride.
There you go. And following high school, were you looking to continue playing rugby in college?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our later success on the varsity team was, as one of my coaches put it, we were the lab rat team that we played together with each other every year, and that third year, of course, culminated in a national championship victory.
Okay.
And then our senior year, we were the only team to get back to the national final, even though we lost. So it really, that success really drove a lot of us to apply to top-name rugby schools. I didn't get into any of them, but
what schools were those?
Penn State, Delaware, Utah, but anywhere I went, well, obviously Albany, I was gonna play rugby no matter what.
All right, now I heard your nickname is Fupa. You want to elaborate on that at all?
Fupa. All right. Here's a lot of people know, but we'll finally go on record saying it. So my sophomore year of high school, where the Super Bowl, where the Steelers were playing the
Seahawks,
I think Seahawks.
Or
Seahawks or
Cardinals,
one of those Super Bowls. I had a Ben Roethlisberger jersey from 6th grade, which I was wearing that night. Me and my friends ordered 200 chicken wings, and it was just 6 of us. Originally, there was a teacher at our school, a new teacher that, pretty heavy-set woman that everybody joked saying she had a fupa. She had a fupa. So the word was fresh in everybody's head. So before halftime, I put down 60 chicken wings by myself.
Jeez.
And was sitting there in my friend's recliner in basically a food coma. And the Ben Roethlisberger jersey was just rolling up my stomach. And my friend Dan just got up and screamed, "He's got a fupa!" And then all of my friends in the house just started chanting "fupa, fupa, fupa." And then the next day at school, it just stuck.
And it carried over to you, Albany?
Sadly enough, Shane Jacoby found out my nickname and turned it against me.
All right, so you're at UAlbany, and during your freshman year, 2 years ago, the team moved up to Division I AA and joined the East Coast Rugby Conference. How pumped were you as a freshman to find out you're going to be playing big universities like Boston College and UConn?
I was pretty excited because, generally speaking, I heard that there wasn't really a lot of competition that UAlbany faced. And I knew a kid on Northeastern, a really good kid on Northeastern, and a really good kid on Boston College. So I was kind of excited to play those teams. And then the first league game I ever played as a freshman, starting, we beat Boston College 19-17, which was really, really exciting.
They were nationally ranked at the time, right?
They were 19th in the nation.
Huge one, huge one. Now, being such a small university relative to the other teams in the conference when it comes to athletics, how does UAlbany rugby stay competitive, especially when it comes to like recruiting students to play?
I think a lot of kids, they come out, they played football in high school. They come to a Division I school where they really have don't have any aspirations to really play football, and then they see like kids like me and Sean Kimmons and Gavin Gymnasi, whatever. That's how I say his last name. Throwing a ball around and like hitting each other and just fooling around, and they want to be a part of that, and not maybe a football setting where it's just like a drill sergeant hammering kids to do. And football players, they're great kids, but they really don't get to enjoy college the same as other students because football practice takes up a lot of time. Like a new player on the team this year, Neil Maxwell, who was a football player last year, didn't want to play it again this year, and now he's basically starting on A side because he's an absolute monster. And I think the same was the case with Andy Moth, who graduated last year. These football kids are tremendous athletes, and then they realize there's another sport that they can transition well into, and they become even more of a superstar than they would if they were on a football
And the
team.
schedule is not necessarily relaxed, but you guys only practice a handful of days a week. Like you're not practicing 5-6 days a week.
I would like to practice a little bit more and have more of a solid team chemistry, but it doesn't take up a lot of the week. So when we come out 3 times a week and really put a hard effort for 2 hours, that does help us in the long run.
Now, being a club team here at UAlbany, we don't hear, for me personally as a student body, I don't hear too much of news about the team. Do you feel like the team is respected by the university?
I don't think the team is respected by the university at all, and that's something that does sadden me because my friends at Penn State, their team is recognized by the university, and they get a lot of glory. They're always in the newspaper.
Why do you think that is? Because you're a club team?
Not necessarily a club team. It's just there's some schools in the nation that they appreciate rugby. Like some of my friends go to school in St. Joe's University in Philadelphia, which is a program on the rise that's been taking a lot of kids from my high school, and now the university is starting to see that, so the university is promoting them more around the campus. It really just has to do with the school and the club being on certain terms, and if the club does well and the school wants to promote it, that I think it should do. And another thing is I think the school should promote the club is not to hate on some schools, but football team plays like Maine and
Duquesne,
and we're playing Boston College, UConn, Syracuse. Like those are the big names that I think if people saw a flyer like, oh, we're playing Syracuse, not even knowing the sport, but oh, I'd like to go see an Albany team play Syracuse.
Absolutely. So how do you guys then, without much university help, how do you guys get the word around campus and to get more people to care about the team and come to games?
Well, I always try to have an Albany shout out on my ATV TV show, UA Overtime.
Okay.
I'm also part of the Theta Delta Chi fraternity chapter around here, which I tell all the kids in the fraternity to come out and play, and we've gotten a few of them. Mike Wolf, one of them, joined the team. He's injured now, but he immediately got hooked on the sport and became a great player in the few weeks that it just took him to learn the sport. And we shout out the word around in the Greek life setting all the time about rugby to try and get them to come to games.
And I know I see you guys around campus all the time. You got to wear the gear, put the word out there.
Well, with the new track suits, it's kind of hard to not want to wear them.
Yeah. Now you guys moved to a new field last spring. Your home games are in front of State Quad as opposed to when they used to be behind Dutch Quad. How'd you feel about the move, and how are you liking the new field compared to the old field?
I like the new field a lot. It's a lot wider. We can. It's a new asset to our game to really spread the ball wide with the new field. Only problem is I don't know if the grounds crew around here cuts that grass a lot because it was very, very thick in the last game we played. But if the field settings are right. It's a great location right next to State Quad. Get more freshmen to come watch the games.
Absolutely.
But it's a pretty great field.
All right, well,
to play on it.
Yeah, let's get back to this season though. The team struggled a little bit last year. You guys went 3-4. I know you've only had one regular season game so far, but you also have had two preseason games where you defeated Syracuse, but you lost to Brown in a close game. And after yesterday's win over Columbia, How's the team looking? What are you guys doing right, and what areas do you really need to improve?
I think the team. This is going to be a really good year for the team. We're starting to practice more advanced fundamentals that previous seasons we really didn't get to touch on, like slide defense. And, having two players being able to cover four offensive players, and as long as we can learn those they are fundamentals of the game that we don't really touch on. But those. That's why we lost to Brown. Brown was great at their coverage, their attack. If we can cover those fundamentals, then we will have a very good shot at this season. I also know a lot of kids on some of the big name schools like Northeastern and Boston College have been graduating players, and we have a very heavy upperclassmen lineup. So that would be a very good advantage to this season.
So what are the team goals for this year?
Well, I always want to say that my personal goal is that the team goes undefeated, and we make the playoffs. But haven't had too much success with that in the past 2 seasons. But I think if we can finish over 500 as a reasonable goal, that will be a step in the right direction.
And what are your personal goals other than making the playoffs? What do you want to do as a player this year?
I haven't really, my college career hasn't been as big as I wanted it to be so far. I'm hoping to make all conference this season, join Gavin on that ranks, but
you're the starting hooker this year too, right?
I am. The transition from tight head to hooker is going to be a big one, so I'd like to see what the new position holds for Spencer Pesce.
All right, and you guys got a game coming up this weekend, right, against Boston College.
That's right.
You guys have beaten them both times in the past 2 years since you joined the new conference. Are you guys going to get the three-peat this Saturday?
I guarantee.
Guaranteeing victory?
Three-peat this Saturday. I'm coming off of a separated shoulder injury. I'm cleared to play this week, so no mercy for anyone that gets in my way. And
is there anything you want to say to the listeners?
I really want to just shout out, UAlbany Rugby. It's a great sport, great team. We could use fans, we could use new players. Just come out, support the team. It's going to be a fun year to get hooked on UAlbany.
What time's the game start Saturday, so people know?
Saturday, it unfortunately is an away game at 1:00 in Boston.
Okay.
But next week, and it is a conflict of interest because it's Larkfest, will be I want to say, the home opener, because Syracuse was before a lot of people got to school, against Kutztown Rugby, which is a very, very top tier powerhouse team in the nation. Should be a fun game. They're very good, so I don't want to say that we don't have a chance, but chances might be slim. But if the team gets fired up, should be a very exciting game.
Hopefully some people come out for that then.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, well, thanks again, Spencer. Good luck this weekend as the Great Danes take on Boston College at Boston College in an away game. Hopefully you guys get the victory.
Hopefully we do too.
All right, thank you, man. Yep.